What's going on, Dub Nation? Welcome into Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I am your host, Allie Barefoot, and I asked you guys on our community post on Warriors Today that I wanted you guys to ask me questions. How are you feeling about the Warriors offseason? We're going to be breaking down some of your questions here on today's Warriors Today mailbag, really addressing free agency, addressing some offseason moves the Warriors can make, and ultimately what the Warriors have on their roster right now that they should keep and they should possibly part ways with. With that being said, if you guys want to comment on our next mailbag, if you want to put your question, if I did not get a chance to answer your question this time, well, it's super easy. All you guys have to do is subscribe. We interact with you guys in the comments as well as on our community page as well, if you ever want to post a comment there. So the good news is 5 new subs will get a shout out on our show going out here tomorrow, but all you have to do is subscribe. The first question that I liked here seeing on the community page was from White LeBron. Connor Rich is his at name there, saying, can the Warriors realistically win another ring if they get LeBron or Paul George? Both of these players are facing a player option heading into the 2024-25 NBA regular season, and overall, my answer is yes. If you think the Golden State Warriors can't win with LeBron or Paul George, then who the hell can they win with? Paul George and LeBron James are 2 all-stars that are currently still playing at one of their peaks, being at the age that they are. They've been dominating the NBA over the last decade, and I do think that either one coming to the Golden State Warriors would help them substantially. When you look at what both of these players did in their own separate teams this season, they're both 20-point scorers a game. 5.2 rebounds for Paul George, who's more of a forward, and you got LeBron James here leaning down more towards the paint with the power forward, 7.3 rebounds per game. 8 assists from LeBron James. I don't have to tell you how great LeBron is. There's a reason why he's in the GOAT conversation. He's still doing what he was doing in 2004. He's been dominating the NBA. Paul George, also another all-star, is leading the Clippers to the playoffs right now as well, shooting about 41% from the three-point line, coming from both of these players with a substantial field goal percentage as well. You put either of these players up with Steph Curry, they are going to make a huge difference. And I know the Warriors went out and tried to get LeBron James in this offseason. He said he wasn't ready to lead the Los Angeles Lakers, but the way that they're playing right now in the playoffs, thankfully they did not get swept. They won last night against the Nuggets. It's really starting to make me wonder if LeBron James is happy in LA. If they make some changes on that organization, I could see him staying there, but if they don't, potentially might even fire Darvin Ham. They could send LeBron to the Bay Area. Same thing with the Clippers. If they do not do well in the playoffs, Paul George could also want to go and play for a coach like Steve Kerr and play with a guy like Steph Curry. With that being said, I want you guys to pick one. Who would you rather see in the Warriors uniform next season? Type PG for Paul George. Type LJ for LeBron James. Either one, I'm good with it. Coming up, another question here from Stephen Curry fan. Warriors, is Kaminga a free agent or an option contract next season? Jonathan Kaminga, who we knew took strides in the 2023-24 season in his 3rd year in the NBA. Thankfully, the Warriors saw this coming. They did pick up that team option on his 4-year rookie contract earlier before this season started. So, no, he's not going to be a free agent this summer. But the good news is he is contract extension eligible this offseason. And when the reporters did ask him, at the end of the season, in their closeout interviews, he was like, oh, wow, I didn't even realize I'm eligible for a contract this summer. That's something my agents are going to work on. I'm just going to work on my body, work on my mental health, and just get ready for the next season. But he did say, I love it here. When somebody asked him what it was like playing in the Bay Area, he stepped up huge this season. I do not think the Warriors would have even had a chance to play him if Jonathan Kuminga did not produce the numbers that he did this season. When you look at the kid and look at what he did at the age he's doing this at, 16 points a game, 4.8 boards per game, 53% from the field. He's still not the sharpest three-point shooter. If you guys want more context on that, I did post a video that was talking about Steve Kerr asking Jonathan Kuminga to work on a few things before the new season comes around, and three-point shooting was one of those I'm not going to call weaknesses. I just don't think he's confident there yet. I do think that he knows when to take an open shot, and I do think he is the type of player that would rather dribble drive down low to the rack. So I'm not going to say it's a weakness, just needs a little bit more confidence there, needs to hone his craft, and what better person to learn from than the person who has perfected that craft, Steph Curry. I'm excited to see the things that Jonathan Kaminga will work on this offseason, and I do think he is completely deserving of a contract extension. With that being said, we have more questions to answer coming up, but first things first, let me go on ahead and tell you guys about PrizePicks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America. I'm playing it, Smitty's playing it. Here's why you guys should be too. It's extremely easy to play. All you have to do is pick between 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on a player's projected stats, and that's how you can win up to 100 times your money with as little as 4 picks. You can also play in over 30 states across the country. Another reason why it's the #1 daily fantasy sports app in America right now. I've been playing this way before they became a sponsor for Warriors Today by Chat Sports. While they're a fantastic sponsor, it's also just extremely fun to play. I love how aesthetically easy it is as well. That's what you get. More or less. Just click a button. More or less, in less than 60 seconds, it takes me to make my picks every single game day. I love the NBA playoff time. I love that PrizePicks gives me promotions as well. Right now, it's a discounted total points projected for Devin Booker, 19.5 points. I'm going to take the more on that. I think they're not going to get swept. I think the Suns can come back, so I'm going to have Booker having a really great game here. Tyrese Halliburton have more than 11.5 assists as well going up against the Milwaukee Bucks. No Dame, no Giannis in that game either, so I'm really excited to see what Tyrese Halliburton will do here. These are my PrizePicks. Go on ahead and make yours. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS for a first-time deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It is truly that easy. C-Dog coming in with its next question here. Should the Warriors target a wing in the offseason like a DeMar DeRozan instead of a big like Nic Claxton? Because we do have Trayce Jackson Davis. I think this is a really fair question. I don't think the Warriors can go wrong with trying to go and obtain a big or trying to obtain a wing. They could use resources at both of those positions. And I don't know what Steve Kerr is going to do with TJD leading up to the new regular season, because he did actually make a name for himself with this Warriors starting 5 in the last 10 games. I got nothing wrong with Trayce Jackson Davis. I love his play. I love his athleticism. He's 6'9", so he's right up there with some of the bigger bigs in the Western Conference right now. Obviously, more stats will come when he starts to learn more about his role. 8 points per game, 5 boards, about 1 block a game, which is great, and 70% from the field. When he's shooting around the rim, 99 times it's going to go in. He is extremely great with his court vision. He has the basketball IQ. He has the athleticism. You guys have seen it. He's not afraid to take on players as big as Wembanyama. He also knows how to protect that rim going up against thicker bigs in the league as well. So I am not opposed to the Warriors sticking with Trayce Jackson Davis. But with that being said, do I think they still need to go get a big? I do. Just because TJD is so young, being 21, 22 years old, I think the Warriors have so many veterans that they've been without a true big for so long that I'd rather see them at least go get a big and then let's compete. Let's use this offseason to see who's going to be the starting 5 in the regular season. Put some competition under TJD. Let him go up and compete with another true veteran big in the league. I think it's only going to make him better. But if you wanted to go get a wing like a DeMar DeRozan, who's not very happy right now with the Bulls, then absolutely. You can't go wrong with adding more wing depth there as well. That was one of their targets by the NBA trade deadline that they ended up not seeking and not fulfilling that request. So I could see Dunleavy making a lot of changes here in this offseason. Steph Curry's even said that we know changes are coming. So I wouldn't be surprised they go and pick up both positions here. Great question there, C-Dog. If you name a big you want the Warriors to sign, if they had to go out and get a big over a wing primarily, what big would you want to come and compete with TJD to get that starting spot? Because if you move Draymond Green to the 4, he knows how to play that block. He knows how to get a little bit outside that paint. He's not your true wing there, but I do see them going out, getting somebody else, maybe even moving Jonathan Kaminga to be more of a wing rather than a 2 there. Go ahead and comment that down below. Lore, a very loyal fan here to Chat Sports, saying, which big should the Warriors sign and who should they bring in to help with that size against other teams in their schedule? Just like we asked there by C-Dog, everybody's focused on a big here this offseason, as they should be. because small ball is over. I'm so sick of Steve Kerr's small ball. Well, if you want to look at some unrestricted free agents heading into the 2024-25 season, obviously there are some bigs you can go out without having to give up much here from your roster. You got Jonas with the Pelicans, Andre with the Bulls, Nic Claxton, who I do still think the Brooklyn Nets will offer him an extension. I do not see them giving up a crazy good player like Nic Claxton, especially around the rim. So I'm really hoping the Brooklyn Nets fumble the bag and the Warriors can go on ahead and obtain that. Isaiah Hartenstein's also a UFA heading into the season. He's playing right now for the New York Knicks in the playoffs, so we're not sure what Tibbs' message will be to Isaiah Hartenstein after the playoffs do happen. And then, as always, Luke Kornet, not one of the bigger bigs in the NBA. He's got athleticism. He's got the height. He's been excelling with the number one team in the NBA right now, the Boston Celtics. So I would take any of these bigs, absolutely. Like I said, take a big, make him compete with Trayce Jackson Davis to earn that starting five. And now you've got two well-equipped bigs to play here, because I think Kevon Looney and Dario are done. I do, in the Bay Area, unfortunately. But with that being said, Asher's going to come in here with another question that could solve a lot of the Warriors' problems down low in that front court. I've heard rumors, if the Bucks don't make it out of the first round for a second time in a row, Giannis might leave. And if so, should the Warriors trade everything for him? Simple answer, yes. If you have the opportunity to go pick up Giannis Antetokounmpo, you better be willing to give it all. And by all, I mean I'd be willing to give up Jonathan Kaminga to obtain Giannis. I know the Warriors are high up on Jonathan Kaminga and a lot of those younger players, but what are we talking about here? It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's played for no other organization but the Bucks so far, and if he's willing to leave, which he did sound like he was willing to leave last offseason before they got Dame, and then he signed that contract extension. Well, Dame doesn't look very happy in Milwaukee either. Dame has already said, I'm lonely. I don't know if Dame wants to come back, but what Giannis has done this season still is proving that he's still playing at a very high level there. He is dealing with some injuries right now, but the Golden State Warriors have already mentioned if Giannis is available, they are going to go after him. He is a top priority for the Warriors this offseason. I would probably say ahead of LeBron James and Paul George here as well. They love what Giannis could bring to the Bay Area, and if he's willing to leave Milwaukee, you better make a phone call. Multiple. You better send letters to the Milwaukee Bucks trying to get him. I think it depends on the playoffs. I think it depends on the Dame situation, but overall, do you want Giannis to come to the Bay Area? Type Y for yes, type N for no, drop it down low. You guys know mine is Y for yes. Let me know what you guys think while you're at it. Hit that sub button for me if you have not already. Anything and everything Golden State Warriors we're going to have right here. If you want to learn more about the offseason, we got it here for you for free. Hit that sub button and enjoy.